We have called you here in fulfillment of a core patriotic duty to defend our public institutions, particularly the National Youth Service Corps, against the increasing assault by the ruling political elite in Nigeria to undermine the independence and sanctity of public institutions to satisfy their primitive and unpatriotic desires. As you all know, the NYSC scheme was founded by the General Yakubu Gowon's regime in 1973 as part of the post-war initiatives to deepen national unity and cohesion in Nigeria. Since the past 50 years of its existence, the NYSC has sustained its integrity and remained consistent with its records of achievement and service to the nation. Over the years, the NYSC has demonstrated exemplary courage and fairness in the discharge of its duties and responsibilities, and has, in all cases, refused to be cowed by the barbaric intimidations of politicians. For example, in 2018, the NYSC, and indeed many patriotic Nigerians, fought off all intimidations by the powers that be at the time when it was discovered that a serving cabinet minister was not in possession of a genuine discharge certificate issued by the NYSC. This incident eventually led to the sack of that cabinet minister from the Federal Executive Council. Also, in 2019, a nominee of the immediate past president on the board of PENCOM from the Northwest, was subsequently removed when she was unable to produce her NYSC discharge certificate. As can be evidenced from the above instances, one can easily see that Nigerians and the people in power have always reckoned with and respected the sanctity of the NYSC and the discharge certificate it issues. However, there is an emerging dangerous trend that needs to be nipped in the bud before it destroys the NYSC as a public institution of repute. This trend has to do with the increasing cases of certificate forgery by some politicians and ruling elites in Nigeria. The CLO is concerned and dismayed that some public office holders in the country who occupy offices of public trust are involved in forgery of public documents, including educational results and the NYSC discharge certificate. More worrisome is the fact that some of these individuals, who are quite powerful, are challenging anyone, including the courts, who dare to question their nefarious actions. In some cases, as the CLO has discovered, these individuals end up being aided by some agents of other institutions of the state to undermine investigations in pending cases. Some of these cases are yet to be resolved, but remain quite troubling. In the last 6 months, the country has witnessed 2 festering cases which are yet to be resolved. One of the cases involved is the current governor of Enugu State, Mr. Peter Mbah, and the other, a serving minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Ms. Hannatu Musawa. The case of Ms. Hannatu Musawa, the Minister of Arts, Culture, and Creative Economy, is disturbing. She is currently a serving member of the NYSC before her appointment as a minister by President Bola Tinubu. Her case has instigated unnecessary debate by some lawyers and Nigerians, who are now sharply divided. Some lawyers who are defending her appointment rely on the provisions of Section 147 of the 1999 Constitution, particularly subsection 5. It states that no person shall be appointed as a minister of the government of the Federation unless he or she is qualified for election as a member of the House of Representatives. The question is, what are the qualifications for election into the House of Reps? This we find in Section 106 of the 1999 Constitution. You must be a citizen of Nigeria. You must have attained the age of 25 years. And you have been educated up to at least a school certificate level or its equivalent. You must be a member of a political party. And you must be sponsored by that political party. But the same constitution also makes it mandatory for any university graduate in Nigeria to possess the NYSC discharge certificate. For us in the CLO, this presents a moral burden on Ms. Musawa, who should reject the appointment and resign her position immediately. In the event that she fails to resign her appointment, we request that President Bola Tinubu invoke his powers under the Constitution to immediately withdraw her appointment. In the Enugu governor's case, the NYSC has proven beyond all reasonable doubt that the certificate the governor parades was not issued by them. Yet, Nigerians have watched as the governor keeps launching orchestrated judicial onslaughts and media campaigns of calumny against the NYSC. As citizens are treated to this macabre drama orchestrated by Mr. Peter Mbah against the NYSC, the CLO wishes to draw public attention to a settled case as espoused recently by the Supreme Court in Oyetola versus Adeleke, that it is only the issuing authority of a certificate that has the sole authority to the exclusion of any other authority or entity to validate or repudiate the certificate issued by that authority. As a leading human rights organization that consistently advocates for constitutional democracy, rule of law, due process, justice and equity and equality of all before the law, the CLO is further concerned that Mr. Peter Mbah and his lawyers knew this, yet they threw everything into the ring to stop the NYSC from coming to testify at the Enugu State Governorship Election Tribunal. What was he afraid of? The case of the Enugu State Governor has become a moral burden on the country, and his continued stay in office presents an affront on the Constitution, the ground norm of our laws. Nigeria is presently torn between allowing Mr. Peter Mbah remain in office as a governor and sustaining the integrity of the NYSC scheme. Yes. So it is an opportunity case, opportunity cost. Eh? One must give way. One must give way for the other, and it is our contention that the NYSC must be protected against the rapid onslaught of powerful forces. If the judiciary, on whose doorsteps the matter lies, fails to deliver substantial justice in this case and allows Mr. Peter Mbah to walk away a free man without convincing proof of how he obtained his NYSC certificate, this will signpost the death of that beautiful scheme called the National Youth Service Corps. Gentlemen of the press, we call on Nigerians to remain vigilant and alert, and appeal to the judiciary as the last wall of hope and defender of our laws to rise to the occasion at this time to save Nigeria and, in particular, protect the NYSC from desperate politicians. It is our contention that Nigeria needs strong institutions and not strong individuals. Thank you, as we count on the usual partnership of the media to defend democracy and freedom of our people. Thank you very much. The powers that be and the rest of us whom they believe cannot do anything. Because the way they continue to denigrate the NYSC, they don't need, even recently I was hearing it on radio, that the former Minister of Finance that left, she needs not have left, that they have discovered that the NYSC certificate is not even compulsory. So maybe it is not compulsory for them. What they are indirectly telling us gradually is that to even go for the NYSC is infra dignitatem. Yes, it is for the rest of us ordinary Nigerians. ordinary in capital letters and underlined. So they are not ordinary. That is how I see the whole matter. And it is not something for one organization to tackle. It is something that we need networking. Something I just believe that no right can be fought for and won by one part of the society alone. It has to be a collective struggle for social justice. Yes, that's what I see the need.
We're an organization that has branches and membership across the country. We cannot sit down here as some of the leaders and take unilateral decisions. We consult. Then by the time we are asked to go to take this decision or take this action to do so, we can write to the president. The court action is the last option of resort. So if after this time we didn't respond, we can write to him, and then finally we will take the last option. Now on this, the arise question on why going to a state, we are not talking about the governor or what is transpiring at the election tribunal. We are concerned that a very strong institution like the NYSC has come to say it was in our own medium, Arise Television, that we watched the Director General of the NYSC saying that they did not issue the certificate to the governor of Enugu State. At the election tribunal too, they came and said they did not issue the certificate that is parading. The tribunal asked the governor to bring his own certificate that he has. He refused, he didn't go. So that's why we are concerned. We are concerned about institutions. When I spoke first, I said, if I now claim that the University of Abuja gave me a certificate to operate as a medical doctor and a professor at that, when I have never attended a course in medicine, the implication is that if they refuse to honor it, I will go to the court and say, because of what happened in Enugu, the court gave the governor
the license.
A license. Because the issuing authority, which has the authority to say, we issue this thing or we don't issue this thing, said they didn't issue. So, if, for instance, Abuja refuses to give me, accept that they give me the certificate, I will go to court. And when I go to court, the court will now say, yes, you are a professor of medicine. What is the implication? The court has license to be a killer. Mm-hmm. If you are suffering from malaria, I will say you are suffering from typhoid or you have ulcer. And then they will be treating what you don't have. And that leads to death. These are our own concern. So we don't want institutions in the country to be decimated. That is the issue. We are not concerned about whether it is Edoga or Mbah who becomes the governor of Enugu State. But this issue of destroying national institutions is very key to us. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Just certificate, optional. It should be optional for everybody, not for a particular section of the society. Let us know that it is now optional, so that if my son or daughter comes to attend an interview and NYSC certificate is not part of it, they can decide, okay, you don't have NYSC certificate, no problem. Why should it be for only the super connected? So, meaning the country is getting more and more concentrated in just a few, do I call them cabal? I don't know what to call them. If it is optional, let it be optional for everybody. Let it be stated clearly that it is optional. And then I wonder, if it is optional, why do I need to undergo a whole 1 year service? Either I won't take the certificate or I take it and put it inside my cupboard. That means all those who were advocating that the NYSC should be scrapped, we have I don't even know, do I say they have won or they have lost? But me, I cherish that NYSC. I know what it did to me. Yes. So.
There's refreshment at the back. You can just, and if you don't have your name on this list, please put out your name and you can take refreshment. Thank you very much for coming.
I want to see this over.